Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In these videos, I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple toy car using Tinkercad. The really cool things about this design are that 1. When printed, the wheels will be able to spin, and 2. This entire car can be printed as one piece with no assembly required. This lesson will be 3 parts. The first part will be showing you how to make the body of the car. The second video will be showing you how to make the wheels and the holes that they go into. And the third video will be showing you some ideas on how to decorate your car, such as adding headlights, a spoiler, and windows. I hope you enjoy it and learn something. Let's get into it. The first thing that we will do once we get into Tinkercad is we'll go to our designs page and we are going to create a new code blocks design. Once it loads in, we'll name our design something simple and easy to find for the future. I'll just name mine Toy Car. With that done, we can get started. The first thing that we're going to make is the top of our car, and to make the front windshield, we'll drag in one of these round roof shapes. Then we'll go to the Modify tab, and we'll drag in a Rotate command. We want this shape to rotate by 90 degrees on the x-axis, so we don't need to change anything. Then we'll drag in another Rotate command. This Rotate command we want to rotate around the z-axis by 90 degrees. Then we'll go back to our Shapes tab and we'll drag in one of these boxes. We'll change the box into a hole by clicking on this gray circle here. Then we'll drag in a Move command. We are going to have this box move down on the y-axis by -10. Pressing play, we can see what we've done. And we can see that we are going to remove the bottom half of this roof, giving us a quarter circle, and that's what we'll be using to make our front windshield. So we'll drag in a create group command. Obviously, however, this quarter circle doesn't look quite like a windshield, so we're going to have to modify it a little bit more. The first thing that we'll do to modify it is we'll drag in one of these scale X, Y, and Z commands. We're going to set the scaling for the X dimension to be 3. We're going to set the scaling for the Y axis to be 0.8, and the Z will keep at 1. Then we will drag in a Move command, and we are going to move this to an X of 6, a Y of 6.5, and Z stays at 0. That being done, we can begin working on the rear windshield. In order to work on the rear windshield, we will go back to our shapes and we'll drag in one of these blue wedges. Once that's in, we'll go to our Modify tab and we're going to drag in a Rotate command. We're going to have it rotate around the y-axis by 90 degrees. Then we'll drag in another Rotate command, and this time we're going to have it rotate on the z-axis by 90 degrees. With those rotates in place, we'll drag in another Scale X, Y, and Z command, and we're going to set the scaling for the X to be 0.8. The scaling for the Y is going to be 0.4, and Z will stay the same. The last thing we need to do for our rear windshield is drag in a Move command, and we are going to move to an X of -17 and a Y of 11.5. That done, we can begin working on the next part of our car, the hood. In order to make the hood, we'll go to the Shapes tab and we'll drag in another one of these round roofs. Then we're going to go to the Modify tab and we're going to drag in a Move command. We are going to move this round roof to an X of 28 and a Y of 2. That done, we can drag in a Rotate command. This first Rotate command is going to rotate around the x-axis by 90 degrees, and then we'll drag in a second Rotate command. This Rotate command is going to rotate around the z-axis by 90 degrees. After that, we'll need a scale X, Y, and Z command. And we are going to set the X scaling to be 1.5. The Y scaling we will change to 0.7, and the Z will stay the same. That done, we can now work on the body of our car. In order to make the body, we'll go back to that Shapes tab, and we'll drag in a box. We'll click on this little arrow right here to open up the dimensions of the box. The width of the box we are going to set to 50. The length of the box will be 15, and the height will stay 20. Now we can work on the bumpers of the car. First, we'll need to drag in a round roof shape, and then we'll go to the Modify tab and we'll drag in a Rotate command. First, we will rotate on the X-axis by 90 degrees. Then, we will drag in another Rotate command. And this time, we are going to rotate on the Z-axis. And we are actually going to rotate by negative 90 degrees. So we'll drag this arrow over here so that it becomes negative 90. Then we'll drag in a Move command, and we are going to move to an X of negative 26, a Y of 0, and a Z of 0. The last thing that we need is a Scale XYZ command, and after we drag that in, we'll set the X scaling to be 0.2. The Y scaling will be 0.75, and the Z stays at 1. With that done, we'll go back to our shapes and we'll drag in a polygon. We'll click on this little arrow here, and we're going to change the sides of our polygon from 6 to 8. The sides changed. We'll go to the Modify tab, and we will drag in a Rotate command. We're going to rotate this polygon around the Z axis, and we're actually going to rotate it by 22.5. In order to get 22.5, you'll need to click on this little box and type the number in manually. With that done, we can drag in a Scale XYZ command. We will keep the scaling for the X at 1, but we will change the scaling for the Y to be 0.25. The Z scaling we will also keep at 1. Then we'll need to drag in a Move command. We're going to move to an X of 21. We'll move to a Y of negative 5.2, and Z will also stay at 0. There's one bumper done. Now we can make the second bumper. In order to save ourselves some time and effort, rather than dragging in all those commands again, we can simply right-click on our front bumper and select Duplicate. Then we can drag it to the bottom of our chain and simply slot it in. We can keep our polygon the same. We don't need to make any changes to it. And we don't need to change our Rotate command either. The Scale command is also fine. The only thing we need to actually change is the Move command. We need this to move to an X of negative 18. If we press play, we can see that we've completed the entire body of our car. There's our front windshield, our rear windshield, the hood of the car, the body, the back, and the bumpers. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video interesting. The next video we will be going over how to make the wheels and the holes that the wheels go into. That being said, that's all for now. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you watch the next video.